What is good, guy? Welcome in this new video about the sniper trading mentorship. How are you doing? All good. Today STDV video and AMD STDV concept. I hope it's all good. Today this was my trade. As you can see, I'm not gonna share with you today what it was about, but to be fast, there was this good week C got stopped out, and we had this STDV. Oh yeah, I can use this as an example. So without wasting any more time, these are the notes for today. Okay, so let's give it a look. And what we said about engineered liquidity in the previous video. Engineered liquidity is good liquidity that is formed before a level. What is a good type of engineered liquidity? The best type is usually equal lows or either equal highs, and to you it's also good to use resting liquidity, but the best form is engineered liquidity. So liquidity that is formed right before a level. So in this case, this was resting liquidity, and in this case, this is the white box. It's a week C, a 4-hour week C. We have this white line here that is our engineered liquidity because it's formed in this case right after the level. Where the fuck is this? Yeah, as you can see, right after the level we have the engineered liquidity. This is far from the formation of the level and the use of the level, so it's resting liquidity. Basically, what else? Let's come back to the 15 minute. What else? Okay, yeah. These are directly the notes about STDV selection, and what do we want to see when we have to select a level of the STDV. So basically what we do, I'm gonna do just a general explanation before going actually into some example. Basically, we want to see some other confluence aligned in the same level. The best types of STDV level are the one where we see engineered liquidity just before entering into our level and our position. It's a bit complicated to understand just with my talk and my explanation, but I'm sure that with the example later you will understand it 100%. What else? Yeah, as you can see and as you know, we have a lot of level in the STDV, the standard deviation, but if you want to trade to the -2 level to the -2.25, you must have a higher time frame SMT, so preferably on the 15 minute or above, but usually the 15 minute is the best. When considering the range between -3.5 and -4 to the -4.5, you need to know that that's a range, meaning it doesn't need specifically to touch level, but we can the price to do an example. What the fuck is that? to do an example. Okay, like this. Where is my tool? The price doesn't need to do like this. What the fuck? To touch the 3.5 or the -4 or the -0.5, 25 or the -5 and then reverse. It could also do like this, okay, in the between the levels, because it's a range, not we don't want to see the price touch perfectly each levels, okay, but it's fine also in between, so like this or like this or like this, okay. Same thing. Same thing when we are bearish, so same concept. We don't want this, no, we want this, or we want this, or we want this. Of course, our enter position will be on the specific level, and now I'm gonna explain to you how, but you understand the concept. This need to be considered as a range, basically. Okay, and what else? At least two align. What does this mean? We need at least two confluence aligned in the same level, in the same standard deviation level, and these are the note for the STDV. Okay, very simple. Best 15 minutes, but higher. It's good, not for intraday. So if you want, as I think, to trade intraday, you need 15-minute standard deviation AMD. 30 minutes is also nice when the 15 minute doesn't look as clear, as good. Okay, these are the notes. Now let's just jump into some example, because if not you will not understand. Today we had a great example. Here for I'm no, you know what, we will first gonna do the AMD explanation. What is AMD STDV, AMD standard deviation? It's basically when we set up our standard deviation using the manipulation leg of the AMD. In this case, we also have an AMD example, because this is a pretty good accumulation phase. This is a good manipulation, and this is a good distribution, okay. So what and how we set up our STDV? We set up it like this. Let's just do, okay, that's good. We set up it like this. As you can see, we perfectly touched the -2 level. That was a crazy top tick. That was really crazy, actually. Okay. Fucking 1 point stop loss. Of course you don't want to do that, but at least 2 point if the level is really good. And that was a crazy trade. 152 risk rewards, okay. And that's basically the AMD standard deviation. And I'm gonna do just another example. We are also on the 50-minute, so it's good. Why can't I find just an example? Am I stupid or what? Okay, maybe this was not the best example, but whatever. Accumulation, manipulation, distribution. Okay, very simple as that. We mark out the manipulation like this. -1 level. We short from that. A bit of drawdown, but we gave a 200 point TP, so that's good. You understand basically what the AMD standard deviation is, the AMD model is. Now let's go into the second part of this video. So how we select the level of the standard deviation. The first method we want to use is by using engineer liquidity. Here that was not a great example at all, so I'm gonna just jump into the 1 minute, maybe no, maybe the 5 minute. Okay, let's mark out the London session. Maybe like this. Yeah, that's what that was the example before, but let's see. Okay, this was not maybe a great entry at all, because we had only the -2 level, but if we had the -2 here, even if that was a loss, that was a good trade because we had both the Wixie and the -2 level, so that was a good STDV entry. But let's find an example with a good entry. Maybe this one. Not so clear, but let's see first on the 15 minute. Okay, yeah, maybe the best was like this. Perfect. So we see that we touch the -4 level, but we can enter of this. No, because we don't have any engineer liquidity. If, for example, we had this week like this, it was a good or even like this. Okay, let's do like this. If we had a week that goes like this, why it was good? Because we want the previous week that touched or even slightly touched the level. So in this case we didn't touch this example, we didn't touch the -3.5, but we see that the price action want to touch the next level. So what do? Our limit order will be at the next level. In this case it was the -3.5, the level that we didn't touch, so the next level is the -4. We sweep the engineer liquidity. What is that? We sweep the engineer liquidity and we touch the next level. That was a good entry. Okay, this is not really a great example, so let's do another one. Maybe this one. No. Okay, I'm gonna find just an example and see you. Okay, so for example, here. Okay, we have these two candle. What our trade would be? We have this minus 1.5 level, the minus 4.525. We see a great closure. Sorry, here we touched the minus 4.25. We didn't touch the minus 1.5. Here we have our minus 4.5 and minus 1 level. This is our engineered liquidity closure. What else? Once we close here, we mark out the next level, so then our entry will be this one with a limit order. We do like this, as you can see, with the 10-point stop. We were good and we delivered a 100-point TP. Okay, no, sorry, 64-point TP. That was a great example. Before, so basically we see our liquidity engine, general liquidity, close either on the level slightly above or slightly below. We set our limit order on the next level, and that's our trade. Next example, here, perfect example. What do we have here? Our engineered liquidity, this one. Why it is engineered liquidity? Because it's in a level, and what we do, we enter of the next level limit order. That's the trade. We do like this, always even 5-point stop, whatever. That was a crazy trade, almost 200-point TP. Why it's a good trade? Because we had engineered liquidity that was swept and we limit ordered the next level. Okay, very simple as that. Come on. Okay, great. Next example. For example, here we don't have our level, but in case you found down here some good standard deviation and the level was like this, and the other one, for example, like this, that's our engineered liquidity. Let's do another color. That's our engineered liquidity that was swept here. We set the limit order on the next level that was there, and our stop loss is always either 10-point or 5-point, depends on how many confluence we have aligned in that specific level. Okay, I know this might sound a bit strange and complicated at first, but once you take a lot of experience with you, it's kind of simple. Okay, the levels before was a great trade, not only because we had the engineer liquidity thing, we had limit order on the next level, but also because we had this here, as you can see, the 50% mark of the OB. We had this FEG that was respected because we didn't close above it, and yeah, so that was a really good trade. Another example, let's see if we find okay, let's do like this. Mm, 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 mm. Okay, this is shitty price action, but let's say this was an AMD, this was the manipulation lag, and it was like this. Okay, let's go back to the 15-minute. Where is this shit? Good. Why this was a great trade? Because here we had this level, we formed engineer liquidity because we closed below the next level. What do we limit order? The next one. So here, like this, same as always, not a really great stop loss, but delivered 200 point TP. Okay, here we didn't really have other confluence aligned, so it wasn't really a great trade at all, but we had engineer liquidity, so as simple as that, you could have taken it basically. Another example, yeah, this one, this is let's say our manipulation leg, or maybe no, I want just to do a good example. So basically like this, that's not a manipulation leg, an STDV or whatever, but just to do the example of how you select the level. So basically, why my air is so shitty? Basically, what do? The minus 4.25 level, we see we touched it, but even if it was like this, so we didn't touch actually with this the engineer liquidity, it's good. Even let's say like this, that's level, we have our engineer liquidity. What the fuck? We have our engineer liquidity, and we set up to our next level. So yeah, let's say like this, and we enter of the next level. I made this just to let you know that it's also good if the engineer liquidity candle close below the level. We aim directly not to the -4 but to the actual next level, not the one close to the engineer liquidity basically. That's a very long video, but I want you to understand very well how to select a good level STDV. That was a great example of manipulation, sorry, AMD, accumulation, manipulation, distribution. Okay, what do? we mark out the manipulation leg. We see engineer liquidity, no, so we don't take the trade. You could have taken the AMD trade or whatever, but now we are talking about strictly the standard deviation. We see engineer liquidity, no, so we enter just because we like the level, no. We have other confluence aligned here, no, so that's not a good trade. Okay, very simple. Okay, here let's see if this was is if this is a good example. Okay, we have our standard deviation, we do have this level and general liquidity. Okay, that's not really great. Let's do like this. Okay, that's good. We have our general liquidity here. We aim to the next level, so this one, let's for the example do like this, and this was a good trade. Okay, same stop loss as always, and whatever. Another example, I want to find an actual example because I'm doing just this to let you understand, but if I can find an actual example, that's not great at all. Okay, let's do with the London model. Maybe this is good. The 15-minute doesn't look good. We scale down to the 5-minute. I know I lost it. Why this is so shit? Okay, whatever. This is not great at all, man. Let's do this. The 5-minute look pretty good. That's our manipulation. Okay, that's a great example actually. Let's mark out our manipulation good, like this. That was a great example actually. So we see our London Eastern standard deviation. We entered on the 1 minute, on the -1 level, no, because we don't have in general liquidity, any sort of other confluence. But here, for example, we have this fucking giant, no, it got invalidated, never mind, but we probably have an FEG around here. Let's say we have it. We have this nice OB or whatever, perfectly aligned. First candle is our general liquidity. What do we do? Okay, it's not great because what do we do and what we need and general liquidity on the 50-minute. So I'm not gonna do the same error twice. Let's do like this. 50-minute. Okay, that was not a good example, but let's say this was a 5-minute, a 50-minute example. This was our 50-minute and general liquidity. Here we sweep the liquidity, we aim for the next level here. Okay, we didn't touch it, but maybe bets before because okay, maybe with this it was a great one. Maybe like this it was great. No, not even. So yeah, that was, but you understand the concept. Okay, it's very simple. We have the first level and the second level. What does price do? Comes here, then do this. We limit order here. Boom, boom. Okay, very easy. What it's also good if the price do, let's do like this. Okay, let's do another example. What is also good if the price do like this and this. That's also our entry. That's our engineer liquidity, and that's our entry. That's our engineer liquidity, and that's our entry. Okay. In other example, we do like this. That's not very good, but we also aim like this. Okay. In the case we the price do like this, of course our limit order will not be this level but the next one. Okay, so we limit order like this, we enter, boom. Okay, that was it for the day. If you have any more question, just let me know in the comment, or either join my Discord server in my bio for totally for free. I hope you understood everything clearly. I know this might sound a bit strange or difficult, but it's very useful. Let's do the last example because I want to. London STDV, we use this because it's very clear. That's also as AMD because okay, no, that's not AMD, but this would be the manipulation. So that's just a London STDV here. Okay, that's, we didn't hit this fucking level, but you understand the concept. Here is our engineer liquidity, and this if it actually would have hit this level, it was a good trade because that was the engineer liquidity, and maybe we had also some confluence here. What do we want to do? Always at least two confluence aligned, so engineer liquidity and another one at least. And yeah, that's all for today. Thanks for watching. A bit of a long video, but very useful. See you in the next video.